Today we are going to dive straight into a courtroom showdown. Right from the start, tension is high as the judge gives Mr. Page a brief window to challenge the court's authority. He immediately asserts his rights, questions the court's jurisdiction, and introduces a sovereign citizen-style defense. Already, the stage is set for a battle between individual freedoms and legal procedure, and viewers can feel the suspense building.
Mr. Page, is there something you want to, if you're just going to read me a giant sovereign citizen objection to my jurisdiction, I'll give you 2 minutes to put whatever you want to put on record, and then we're proceeding with the hearing. Fair? And we have a charge of speeding of 11 to 15 over. Do you understand that?
Yes.
No discussions?
No discussions.
Would you like to have discussions with him regarding that civil infraction?
Yeah, I would like it dropped.
Okay. Well, I don't know that he's doing that, but he might offer you a reduced ticket with no points. I mean, I don't know that he will. I don't know what he'll offer you, but there could be a reduction. Do you want to discuss that possibility with Mr. Zach?
Yes, I'd like to.
Okay, I'll let the two of you discuss that. And I did receive your filing. I'm reviewing it now.
Okay.
And so if that's what you're intending to put on record, it is officially part of the court file.
Okay.
So we don't need to do it orally because it's part of the file.
All right.
Okay? All right, I'll let you two talk and I'll see you back in just a few minutes.
Thank you. We had the discussion, Your Honor, but we're unable to reach a resolution.
Okay, so was an offer made?
Yes.
Okay, can you just tell me what the offer
Oh,
was?
yes, Your Honor. The people offered to reduce the charge of speeding 11 to 15 over to a double parking.
All right, and Mr. Page, you understand that's a civil infraction, has a fine of 165, but it doesn't have any points on your license.
Right.
Okay, and you've rejected that offer?
I have.
Okay. All right, so we're proceeding with our hearing then.
Thank you.
Mr. Page, is there something you want to, if you're just going to read me a giant sovereign citizen objection to my jurisdiction, I'll give you 2 minutes to put whatever you want to put on record, and then we're proceeding with the hearing. Fair?
Don't I have the right to be heard lawfully?
Well, you have the right to ask questions to the witness.
Okay.
And to, make any arguments you want to the court.
Right.
But as far as jurisdictional arguments, the court does have jurisdiction.
Okay, is this court operating in administrative or judicial law?
I'm not participating in this, sir.
Well, I would.
Well, this is a court of law.
I would have to know because there's no injured party in this case. So
there doesn't have to be.
There does. In order to set bond against me, there has to be an injured party.
Okay. Anything else? I am operating under the laws of the state of Michigan and the Michigan Constitution. And that's the information that I'm willing to provide. And and I'm certain you're aware of that, sir. You've lived in the United States for your life.
And I'm also aware that I have the right to freely travel at my own vehicle.
Correct.
That I maintain and take care of. There was no injured party. I was not engaged in commerce or commercial activity.
Okay, well, they can get tickets too for speeding.
I'm protected under the Constitution. Speed limit's not law. The Constitution says that.
Actually,
The speed limit is a statute, code, and ordinance.
correct. Statute and ordinance, that's
Yeah.
correct.
So how could I be charged if we're operating under this type of law and no injured party?
Well, your federal right to travel under the state or the federal Constitution doesn't mean that you're not subject to regulatory. I mean, do we not have to get driver's licenses? Do we not have to get car insurance? Do we not have to follow basic speed laws? I mean, you can have a constitutional right.
Now it's time to witness Mr. Page laying down his full argument. He challenges the court on constitutional grounds, separation of powers, and the legality of its authority. His speech is firm, structured, and raises serious questions about jurisdiction. This is the heart of the courtroom drama, as the judge listens intently while the audience gets a real look into a complex clash of law versus personal rights.
With limits and or regulatory provisions or statutory provisions. The right to drive is not written in the Constitution. The right to travel is.
Yeah, and I made that clear to the officer that I was traveling. I wasn't driving. I have that.
Were you in a
I have
car?
that on film too.
Sir, were you in a car?
Yes, I was.
All right, you were operating a motor vehicle. And were you in the city of Taylor?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't operating a motor vehicle though. I was traveling freely down the road.
In a motor vehicle?
That I maintain and take care of myself. That's my property.
Okay. I understand that. That doesn't affect this. I mean, you were driving a car in the city of Taylor. Yes. Okay. And that's why we're here.
Okay.
Okay.
Your Honor, people would waive opening at this time would be prepared to call their first witness when you're ready.
Okay. Call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we call Corporal Billy Schillenberg to the stand.
Okay, officer, if you can come on up to the witness stand. Mr. Zick, your witness.
Thank you. Corporal Schillenberg, can you state your name and badge number for the record?
Corporal Billy Schillenberg, badge number 260.
Were you working back on November 4th of 2024 in the afternoon hours?
I was.
All right. I'm going to direct your attention back to that date and time. Can you describe to the court where you were approximately doing traffic detail on November 4th, 2024 at about 1:35 p.m. At that time?
I was sitting stationary and
Sir, you can't read off your report. You can use it if you want to use it to refresh your memory. You're free to read it, but you can't just read the report into the record.
but I, Corporal Schillenberg, was sitting stationary, monitoring traffic on southbound Telegraph, south of Brust Road, when I observed a silver Ford Fusion traveling faster than the vehicles around it, which time I activated my LiDAR device, which I am trained and certified to use in the state of Michigan. Pointed the LiDAR directly at the hood of Mr. Page's vehicle and received a reading of 58 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone at 694.5 feet.
Wait, say that again. 58 miles per hour. Now, what was the speed limit there?
45.
And you indicated you're certified with the LiDAR device. Can you briefly explain how that works and what does it mean when you got a reading at 694.6 feet?
So the LiDAR device, in order to operate it, you have to go through a training class to be certified to use it. On that particular day, I did my self-inspection of the device, powered it on, it did pass all tests. The way the LiDAR works is when you point the LiDAR at the hood of the vehicle, it'll give you a speed reading and a feet reading. So the feet is the distance away from where the LiDAR is to the vehicle approaching my position.
And based on the reading that you received of 58 and you were monitoring a 45 mile an hour zone, what did you do next?
At that time, when I got the 58 and 45, when I got the 58 and 45, set my LiDAR device down. I maintained visual sight of the vehicle that I got the reading from. When Mr. Page approached my patrol vehicle, so when I exited the parking lot, which I was sitting in.
Objection, I approached your vehicle.
All right. I think, can you just clarify when you say?
I never got out of my vehicle.
All right, well, let's let him clarify the answer. I took it to mean something
Sorry,
else.
Your
So
Honor.
no, you have a right to make an objection. Can you just have him clarify what he means by that?
Yes, Corporal Schillenberg, can you please clarify your last statement?
So sitting on the west side of Telegraph Road, monitoring southbound traffic in a parking lot.
And that was the parking lot of Turbo Motors?
Yes.
At 12200 Telegraph?
Yes.
Okay.
So sitting stationary in that parking lot, when I got the reading of 58 and 45, Mr. Page was 694.6 feet away from my vehicle. So as he passed my vehicle in his automobile, that's when I exited the parking lot, pulled behind his vehicle, activated my emergency lights, and initiated a traffic stop on his vehicle.
All right. And that traffic stop was initiated in the parking lot down the road at 12510 South Telegraph?
Yes, that'd be the Enterprise.
What was it?
Enterprise?
Enterprise, okay.
And you maintained visual contact with the vehicle the entire time?
Did.
All right. Did you at some point identify the driver of that 2020 Ford Fusion silver in color?
I did.
All right. And just for purposes of the record, do you see that individual in the courtroom here today?
I did.
And describe what he's wearing.
Wearing a brown suit and black undershirt.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that he has identified the defendant, Zachary Ryan Page, seated at counsel table.
The record shall so reflect.
Corporal Schillenberg, did you then issue a citation to the defendant?
All right, so while we were on the traffic stop, I asked Mr. Page for his identification numerous times, which he refused to do so. I refused to do so. At that time, Sergeant Kish made my location. Mr. Page eventually ended up providing his driver's license to Sergeant Kish. At that time, I was able to issue him a citation for the speeding 11:15 hour.
Your Honor, I have no further questions this witness this time.
All right, Mr. Page, you have some questions for the witness? You're free to step to the podium just so the court reporter can take everything down.
No questions for the witness.
Okay,
People rest at this time, Your Honor.
all right. Do you have anything you want to enter into the record?
I want to enter into the record that I'm here today making special appearance under sue juris as one of the people of Michigan, not as a defendant under the jurisdiction of this court. I'm asserting my unalienable rights as secured by the Michigan Declaration of Rights under the United States Constitution, particularly under Article 1, Section 1 of the Michigan Constitution, which establishes all political power is inherent in the people. At that outset, I raise jurisdictional challenge to this court.
Your Honor, may I interrupt? And I apologize for interrupting, but Corporal Schulberger is our traffic supervisor, and there's been an issue over the Taylor Police Department this morning. Technical
He's
difficulty.
he's free to go. Do you have any other questions for Corporal Schillingberg?
No.
All right, Corporal Schillingberg, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, sir.
This outset, I raise jurisdictional challenge to the court as jurisdiction must be proven on the record before any further proceedings can lawfully continue. The separation of powers doctrine, as outlined in Article 3, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution and the Michigan Constitution, makes it clear that no branch of government may exercise the powers of another. Before proceeding, I require clarification on whether this court is operating in a judicial capacity or administrative. If this court is acting under administrative directives or executive branch policies, rather than operating as a constitutionally recognized judicial body, then it is exceeding its lawful authority. No administrative agency, including the SOS, possesses lawful authority to direct judicial rulings or override the people's due process rights. Any attempt to enforce such directives constitutes an unconstitutional exercise of power, rendering these proceedings null and void ab initio. Furthermore, jurisdiction cannot be established by assumption, presumption, or coercion. Due process demands that I am provided with clear, lawful authority establishing the legitimacy of this court's jurisdiction over me. An individual exercising my constitutionally protected right to travel. Without such proof, this court is proceeding without lawful authority and any ruling is issued a legal nullity. I now formally demand that this court place on the record the specific constitutional authority establishing jurisdiction over me as one of the people of Michigan, the legal basis that allows this court to act under administrative directives or executive policies without violating the separation of powers doctrine, proof that I was engaged in regulated commercial activity as no jurisdiction exists, absent clear evidence that I was operating as a licensee in commerce at the time of the alleged incident. Until these fundamental issues are resolved, I will not proceed under any assumption that this court has lawful jurisdiction over me. To do otherwise would be to waive my inherent rights, which I do not consent to. I stand firmly on my right to due process, equal protection, and the supremacy of constitutional law. The burden is on the prosecution and the court to establish jurisdiction before any further action can.
Now we shift focus to the factual side of the case. Corporal Schillingberg steps up with concrete evidence, explaining the LiDAR readings and how he measured Mr. Page's speed at 58 in a 45 miles per hour zone. The officer's testimony is precise and detailed, countering the defendant's arguments. This segment adds clarity and weight to the case, showing viewers exactly why the court is moving forward with the infraction.
Lawfully take place.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, I heard testimony today from Corporal Billy Schillingberg. Corporal Schillingberg testified he is works the traffic bureau at the city of Taylor, and that he was in that capacity, working in that capacity on November 4th of 2024 at 1:35 p.m. approximately. He testified that this occurred within the city of Taylor, within the state of Michigan. He testified that he is trained and certified to use LiDAR devices, and that the device had been inspected. He explained how the device is placed at the hood of the vehicle, or aimed at the hood of the vehicle, and it determines the speed in feet from the LiDAR device. He testified that at the time, I can't recall the exact number, but he was approximately 600 feet away from the driver of the silver Ford Fusion, and that he was clocked at a speed of 58 in a 45-mile-hour zone. He testified as the vehicle came towards him and passed him, he put his device down, initiated a traffic stop. The stop ultimately occurred at 12510, which is on Telegraph Road, which is the business of Enterprise. Corporal Schillingberg also identified Mr. Page as the driver of the motor vehicle, and his license was ultimately produced, and he was issued a traffic citation. The standard for these hearings is not beyond a reasonable doubt, and there was no questions to Officer Schillingberg that offered any contradictory testimony to the testimony that was issued in this case. Therefore, Mr. Page, I find you responsible of the civil infraction of speeding 11 to 15 over, and that has a fine of $130.
The tension peaks as the officer identifies Mr. Page in the courtroom and confirms the issuance of his citation. Despite his objections, Mr. Page is placed firmly under the court's procedures, highlighting the clash between his asserted freedoms and law enforcement protocols. This short but intense segment captures the essence of courtroom accountability and keeps viewers engaged with real-time drama.
Mr. Page, do you need time to pay?
I do.
Okay. How much? Can you pay in 30 days?
I mean, yeah, if I got on a payment plan.
All right. Well, would you rather pay something on a monthly basis?
Sure.
Can you pay $70 a month, $50 a month? Tell me what you can.
50's good.
50 a month.
Yeah.
Finally, the courtroom drama concludes with the judge issuing a ruling. Mr. Page is responsible for the speeding infraction with a $130 fine. A payment plan is established, giving closure to this legal encounter. This resolution wraps up the story while reinforcing the procedural authority of the court. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.